New OpenClaw upgrades are insane. You set up your AI assistant weeks ago. It still can't do half the things you actually need. You're still copying and pasting, still jumping between apps, still doing it yourself. That's not automation, that's a fancy search bar. But there's a tool that just got a serious wave of upgrades, and it's changing what AI assistants are actually capable of. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what changed, why it matters, and what you need to do about it. Hey, I'm Julian. Welcome back. If you're new here, this channel is all about cutting through the noise and giving you the real breakdown on AI tools that are actually worth your time. Today we're talking about OpenClaw, specifically the latest round of updates that take it from impressive to genuinely hard to ignore. But before we get into the upgrades, let me give you a quick primer on what OpenClaw actually is, because if you haven't heard of it yet, you need the context first. OpenClaw is an open source personal AI agent that runs on your own devices, not in the cloud, not on someone else's server, on your machine. You install it, connect it to your preferred AI model, and it becomes your assistant across all the messaging apps you already use: WhatsApp, Telegram, Slack, Discord, Signal, iMessage, and a lot more. It was built by Peter Steinberger, an Austrian software developer and the founder of PSPDF Kit. He originally published it in November 2025 under the name Chatbot as a personal project. The name was a nod to Anthropic's Claude. After trademark complaints from Anthropic, it got renamed to Multibot in late January 2026, then to OpenClaw 3 days after that. And here's where the story gets interesting. Right around that rebrand, a companion platform called Multbook launched. It was essentially a social platform for AI bots. It exploded, and so did OpenClaw's GitHub. The project went from niche developer tool to one of the fastest growing open source repositories in history, picking up over 60,000 GitHub stars in 72 hours. As of early March 2026, it has over 247,000 GitHub stars and an estimated 300,000 to 400,000 users. The reason for that growth is simple. OpenClaw actually executes tasks in the real world. Clear your inbox of spam, deploy a commit to staging, manage your calendar, browse the web, run terminal commands, build a knowledge base from documents, all from a chat message in the apps you're already using. That's why developers and power users have been losing their minds over it. And now, in February 2026, it just had its biggest month of updates yet. 5 releases, over 50 bug fixes, and several changes that meaningfully shift how reliable and safe the tool is to run. Let me walk you through the most important ones. The first major upgrade is external secrets management. This shipped in version 20.2.26, and it's a headline feature. If you've been running OpenClaw on a server or VS, your API keys were likely sitting in a plain text config file. That's a real security risk, especially in shared environments. The new OpenClaw secrets workflow introduces an order, configure, apply, and reload system that keeps your credentials secure and separated from your main config. It also includes safer migration scrubbing and ref-only auth profile support. This aligns OpenClaw with standard DevOps security practices and removes one of the biggest risks of self-hosted AI deployments. If you run this on anything other than a local machine you fully control, this update is important. The second major upgrade in version 2026.2.6 is Cronjob reliability. Cronjobs are scheduled tasks. Things like an automated daily briefing, a background research summary, or a recurring workflow that runs without you being there. These are what make OpenClaw genuinely useful for automation versus just responding to commands. February was a big month for cron fixes, extended safety timeouts, so long-running tasks aren't killed early. Better queue drain behavior after restarts to prevent silent failures. Cleaner shutdown logic if your scheduled automations weren't running reliably. This is the release that addresses that directly. The third major upgrade is WebSocket first streaming for OpenAI's Codex integration. OpenClaw made WebSocket the default transport for Codex, with SC as a fallback. What this means practically is faster, more reliable real-time response streaming when you're using the Codex model. If you are noticing lag or stuck responses in Codex-heavy workflows, this change directly addresses that. Now, I want to pause here for a second because I want to talk about something that helped me a lot when I was first getting into OpenClaw. When I started using OpenClaw, I was genuinely overwhelmed. The setup is technical, the options are huge, and figuring out which workflows are worth building versus which ones waste your time is not obvious from the documentation alone. That's when I found a community called AI Profit Boardroom. Over 2,000 members all focused on learning and implementing AI tools together. What made the difference was seeing what other people were actually doing with these tools in their real workflows, real use cases, what's saving time, what's not, which configurations people are actually running. If you're serious about using AI to improve how you work, it's worth checking out. Link is in the description. Back to the upgrades. The fourth major update is the agent routing CLI. Version 20026.2.26 introduced OpenClaw agents bind and OpenClaw agents unbind commands for account scope route management. This gives you granular control over which agents handle which channels and accounts. If you're managing multiple agents for different purposes or running OpenClaw in a shared environment across a team, routing is now much cleaner to configure and manage. The fifth update is multilingual memory embeddings. OpenClaw has persistent memory. It remembers context across sessions. Version 2026.12.6 expanded the embedding system to better handle multilingual content, so your agent retrieves relevant context more accurately regardless of language. The sixth update is new model support. Earlier in February, version 2026.2.3 added Claude Opus 4.6 via the Kilo Gateway integration. Version 2026.2.21 added Gemini 3.1 Pro preview from Google. The platform also added Volcano Engine and Byte Plus providers, including coding variants. OpenClaw is already model agnostic, and this month's releases expanded that further, giving you more high capability options for different types of tasks. And the seventh update worth mentioning is Android app improvements. Version 2026.2.25 shipped better streaming delivery handling and improved markdown rendering in the native Android chat UI. If you use OpenClaw from your phone, responses now display better and stream more cleanly. That might sound small, but it matters for day-to-day usability. Now let me tie all of this together, because I don't just want to list features, I want you to understand the bigger shift that's happening. When OpenClaw first went viral in late January 2026, the reaction was split. Developers were excited, security researchers were alarmed, companies started issuing internal bans. Kaspersky identified over 500 vulnerabilities in a security audit from that same period, 8 of them critical. Cisco's security team tested a third-party OpenClaw skill and found it performed data exfiltration without user awareness. One of OpenClaw's own maintainers publicly said that if you can't understand how to run a command line, the tool is too dangerous for you to use safely. That context matters because the February 2026 updates are a direct response to those concerns. The 11 security hardening fixes, the secrets management overhaul, the cron reliability work, this is the project maturing, moving from a tool that works in the right hands to something with a more solid foundation for anyone who takes self-hosted AI seriously. Is it ready for everyone? No. The setup is still technical. You need to be comfortable in a terminal. You need to understand what you're giving an AI agent access to on your machine. But for people who've been watching it from the sidelines, waiting for it to stabilize, February 2026 is the moment to take another look. There's one more thing I'll say on this. OpenClaw's creator, Peter Steinberger, announced on February 14th, 2026, that he's joining OpenAI. The project is moving to an independent open source foundation. That means continued development, broader community ownership, and likely more resources behind it going forward. The tool is not going away, it's growing up. If you're looking to dive deeper into AI tools and actually implement them in your work, I'd recommend AI Profit Boardroom. Over 2,000 people learning how to use AI effectively together. Everyone shares what's working and what's not, which tools are worth your time, which ones to skip, no hype, just practical guidance from people actively doing the work. It's helped me stay on top of updates like this and figure out how to apply them day to day. Link is in the description, and if you want the full process, standard operating procedures, and over 100 AI use cases like this one, join the AI Success Lab. You'll get all the video notes from there, plus access to our community of 58,000 members who are building seriously with AI. Links are in the comments and description. If you found this useful, hit the like button and subscribe. I cover OpenClaw and other AI tools like this regularly. See you in the next one.